Hey, everybody. How's it going? Long time no see. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me before I blabber on, just to make sure you can hear me. It's been a little bit since I've been live, and my settings always get screwy. It's always good to double check. Awesome. I see a one. That's a good sign. Sleuthy says, hear you good. I hope y'all can hear me good. Perfect. I'm so glad you're here, Sleuthy. I'm sure you have been reading the Koberger file drop as I have. I've been that's all I do. Besides take care of these children. So we dipped out as soon as the poor kid's body wasn't found, I guess, in relation to Chris. But then we'll get into that today. I promise you that. Yeah, I could see y'all talking about it. We will get into it. No doubt about it. Don't correct my grammar. Listen, ma'am, I'm from Texas. All right? We don't speak so good sometimes on purpose because we don't give a shit. And I'm sure those in Virginia also are pretty badass like the Southerners. So I get you. So we are 2 days away. Just going to hop in. Hello, everyone. Hit that like button. Do the things that you know to do. We are 2 days away from the 4-year mark of Michael Vaughan going missing in Fruitland, Idaho on July 27, 2021, allegedly from 6:40 to 7 p.m. And I say allegedly because that's a guess. We're not sure how police feel that that's the timeline or the window, or are they lying about the timeline because they know it was earlier? And that's just me speculating. We don't know. So allegedly he went missing from 6:40 to 7 p.m. that night in 2021. So that's what we've got to work with. All right. And so again, two days away from the 4-year mark. And if anybody has listened or covered missing children cases, typically after year 2, it gets dangerously unsolvable the more time goes on. But sometimes, every so often, you have the 10-year mark or more, decades, where they do get solved. But justice could be skirted by then, so we want it solved now, of course. So where are we? As I always say, where are we? In this case, of poor sweet Michael Vaughan. Well, the latest and greatest that has come out that I have seen, and if anybody else has seen any different, let me know. But I looked before I went live, and Michael Vaughan, the only thing that I have seen is Maggie O'Mara saying something on Facebook with a link on July 7th. Let's just read it. Let's just get into it. And thank you guys for being here. Excuse me. All right, Maggie O'Mara, July 7th at 11 a.m. It's been 4 years this month since Michael Vaughan went missing in Fruitland. He was playing in front of his house in a rural neighborhood when he simply disappeared. His case rocked our community, and ever since that day, we've all been heartbroken over it. Authorities have reason to believe he was kidnapped, and they are still working on finding the person or people responsible. His mom, Brandi Vaughan, is often on the news, pleading for information about her sweet boy. As you can imagine, she's been absolutely devastated and in so much emotional pain since that terrible day 4 years ago. She wants answers and justice. But now, I've learned Brandi is facing another crisis. Now, if you don't know, by now, Brandi Neal Vaughan is sick. She needs a liver transplant, from what has been said on the socials and on other YouTube creators, platforms that she's been on in the past. So she's in liver failure and is waiting for a life-saving transplant. As you can imagine, her medical expenses are very high. Her friends reached out to me with a way we can be on hashtag Team Brandi to help her during this difficult time. If you'd like to help, click that link below, everyone. If you so inclined to do so, there's the link. All right, you can type it in your own browser, do your thing. I will say that the merch, in my opinion, that nobody cares about or warrants. I am not a fan of the merch, missing child merch. I'm just not. Something about that doesn't sit well with me personally. However, that's neither here nor there. If you are and you feel like giving, there it is. All right. But you can also donate to the bank account for the family. It's called the Michael Vaughan account at Washington Federal Bank in Payette. Feel free to do that to help with the liver failure transplant costs. Okay, Team Brandi. Maggie also says, for those of you who wish to donate directly to her, she has a Cash App. It is Brandi Vaughan 1. If you want to donate, again, to the Cash App. Also, there's a PayPal account at Brandi Vaughan 1. Make sure it's VAUGHAN, not without the A right here. There's also a Michael Vaughan account. There's a Michael one. Now, this is what I'm on board with. And I have in the past, but we're not going to go there. There is a Michael Vaughan account at the Washington Fed Bank in Payette, the original, the one that was created by a very sweet woman who cared a ton and still does care for justice for Michael. She started that, and I guess it's ongoing. So awesome. Gonna check in my chat because I know there's probably some comments. You go up 2 years of making all these searches and nothing has come of them. Yeah. Oh, baby Dior. Yeah, I am sleuthing the ever-loving hell out of that case right now. And I think I have quite a bit of a good theory. And it falls in line with the PI from Texas that they sued. The parents of Dior Coons have sued. We're vibing on the same planes with that one. I don't think that he got run over. We'll go into that another day. But again, I'm, of course, on that path because of the inconsistencies. Anywho, so look out for that content. I'm literally a button away from putting that on YouTube. It's just been a hot and busy day. By the way, it's been like 113 degrees here. Like it feels like 113, but it's really only like 104. It's the devil's taint. It's horrible. And I've had it with Texas. So basically nothing said about Michael. I mean, it did give that vibe off. But you can't be the only one to, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, I really don't, but you can't be the only one who is advocating if you're too sick to do it. So she needs to get better so that she can keep going, is my understanding. I have said this repeatedly, where's the men? Where's the family? What the hell? But, and I mean that, like, where's the family to strong arm behind her or for her while she's needing this liver transplant, But I don't know the deets behind the streets, nor do I want to. Shani, hey, love, good to see you. Was Michael's picture even attached? Yeah. No, not on that Facebook post. No, it was not. And I feel bad because I usually put his latest flyer, which is pretty much the same one as always, but except for the what he would look like at 8 years old picture. So let me put that on there. Let me put that up. I think that that's the appropriate thing to do, honest to God. We'll just put this one on. Set. Sorry, 1 second. Very blurry. We don't want to do that. Real quick while I'm trying to put this on my background, it's very interesting. A lot of the posts that used to be around for Michael, and they weren't like crazy, insane posts, they were just basic posts, are gone. I cannot find the links, like they're gone. A lot of them are gone. And it's weird. And I'm not talking about like a Facebook group went quiet or private and you can't see those anymore. Like it's just the run of the mill, posts from randos. They're gone. That's strange to me. So. All right, we're almost there. So where are we with Michael's case? Well, the last thing besides, Brandi being ill and needing that transplant is that Chief Huff was interviewed by Maggie O'Mara and Brandi Neal as well. It was very interesting how they had it where, she's on, they're not together. It's a separate interview. She's speaking about Michael, and then he speaks about how investigating this case has been hard on the team, as I'm sure it is. Right? But at the same time, it's kind of like, why aren't y'all side by side if that's what's been portrayed? Like, Brandi's like, we're up there every day fighting and fighting. And I would figure that nipping that we're cleared of any wrongdoing kind of thing, that would squash that if the police were by her side, especially being as sick as she is. That was interesting. Not that I'm trying to say or insinuate anything. It's just how I look at it. I'm going to check in the chat. Well, Maggie's post only mentioned medical expenses. Yeah. Yep. And it's been that way for a minute, on Purple Phoenix's page where she favors to do all of the advocation for Michael, right? And that's just the way it is. Yeah. What do you do? So anyway, let's listen to that video of, oh shit, I didn't put this in my back or the set it as the background page. Hold on, guys. Sorry. It's been a hot minute. One sec. Talk amongst yourselves. I hate it when things don't save to where you just told it to save it to. That's frustrating. Aha! Miracles happen. Okay, here we go. We're back on track. So let's watch that video because a lot of people don't even know about it. I think it was titled Fruitland Police Not Giving Up on Michael. I think it was back in January that they published this, KTVB. Yeah, so let's watch it.
Grainger knows that if you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional grade. Click Grainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How has this case weighed on you in the last?
You know.
The Fruitland Police Department wants Idahoans to know it hasn't stopped looking for Michael Vaughan. The then 5-year-old known as Monkey disappeared from his home in July of 2021. Abby Davis has been following this story, and Abby, the chief, says they're still sifting through tips and conducting searches.
Jude, he says the case isn't cold even as the 4-year anniversary of Michael's disappearance approaches.
This is one of the worst case scenarios for any small city.
The disappearance of Michael "Monkey" Vaughan.
He is energetic, very inquisitive, loves the moon and stars.
Brandi Neal's second youngest.
He wants answers to everything. He wants to know how everything works.
Neal wears reminders of him as she tries to make sense of all that's happened since the phone call from Monkey's dad that forever changed their lives in July 2021.
He was frantic and told me he couldn't find Michael.
I'd just gotten home from work. And
It's a day Fruitland Police Chief JD Huff will never forget either.
I received a phone call from my captain. He just explained that we had a missing child.
Huff says it soon became clear this case was different.
In those places where we would commonly see or find those children that were, lost for a little while.
Now, that was interesting to hear, finally, what JD Huff, how he was informed, because it was well known at the very beginning for some of us that Detective Juanita, at the time, Toll, was there first very quickly. Now, Fruitland PD is only 2 blocks away. It doesn't take any time at all to get from there to where Michael's house is. However, that was pretty damn quick. I mean, I think it was like a 3-minute response time, and you have to call dispatch, and then the dispatch connects you to whomever you need, whether it's fire, ambulance, or police. Okay. So it takes a little minute to get to the right place. And then they called back to get more details, and Miss Juanita was on it. So it's very interesting to hear that he was just getting off work and, trying to settle down for the evening, I'm sure, with his family. And Cy Armstrong calls him and says, "Get your boots back on, sir. We got a missing child." It's crazy.
All of those areas had been checked, and Michael was not there. We started looking at it from the criminal aspect at that point.
And it just kind of all melds together. Just searching the questions, the worry. It felt like the whole world just stopped. And then kept going.
Huff says they've never stopped digging. The last major...
That was always, I get that, right? If you had trauma or something happened to you where everything is in slow motion. It happened to Summer Wells's mom, Candace. She said that when she was at the, watering hole, time slowed down for her when remembering it later, which is something fascinating to me, because typically it's not that it seems slow. It was just so fucking fast when you were in that heightened state at the time, because you were like panicking at that time. And so remembering it later, whatever the situation was, it's slower now because you're not in that situation anymore. So it's just a different remembrance of the memory, and so and emotion, right? So that was interesting. It just kept going after it froze, which that's what life does. But I'm always going to keep that in the back of my mind for future missing children's cases.
Breakthrough in the case was more than 2 years ago. Crews dug up suspects Stacy and Sarah Wander's backyard that sits just a few blocks from Michael's home. Police say they had credible information from someone living in the Wanderers' house the young boy's body was there. Cadaver detection dogs alerted to human remains, but none were found.
You said that you guys believe he was buried in the Wanderers' backyard and then potentially moved elsewhere. Is that still the case?
That's still my belief.
The Wanderers are still suspects, so are Adrian Lucien and Brandon Shirtliff, who lived with the couple at their Red Wing Street house.
Were you involved in the disappearance of Michael?
So at this point in January of 2025, they're still named suspects. Okay. Now, he's going to explain here in just a second, you know, that's still his belief, which a belief is, I guess, or his strongly held opinion. And I'm hoping that there might be something that comes soon that tells us kind of a glimpse into what that is. Maybe there was evidence that came back from testing, because Koberger trial did back up the testing, the DNA forensic testing for the state. No doubt about it. Like, it is what it is. But things are starting to roll back into play with other cases that were backlogged, and maybe it's Michael's turn. Maybe it's Eric Ortega's turn. Maybe it's Angel Figueroa's turn from Payette, who was found in 2024 on the street, murdered, and they won't investigate his death. Mike Duke won't do a thing. The Attorney General won't help the poor mother of that person. So maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel on that, now that the trial is over. I don't know.
No.
In an interview with KTVB last year, Stacy said he didn't know anything about Michael's abduction or where the little boy is today.
I have no reason to hide anything from anybody. I'm not that type of person.
Stacy has been in and out of custody for a couple of years after pleading guilty to an unrelated gun crime, then violating conditions of his supervised release. Sarah is in prison until at least 2026 on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence unrelated to Michael's disappearance. Huff says he knows where Lucien and Shirtliff are, but wouldn't elaborate further on any of the suspects since it's an active investigation. He says he's confident the right people will one day be held accountable.
It's been said in the past that, no body, no crime. I would just tell you that I don't believe that holds water. And the only reason I say that is because with the volumes of circumstantial evidence.
Wait a minute. We're going to play that again, but one day the right people will be held accountable. Do you have the right one, sir? No. I mean, I don't think so. He might think so. He might know better than I do, of course, but why would you say one day, not today, not today, one day the right people will be held accountable? That statement bothers me every day. I literally have it written on a sticky note, and I have angry faces on it like, what the fuck, Huff? What do you mean? What kind of shit is that? Wordplay salad. Like, I need... When? Who's the right ones? Rant over. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Of the suspects since it's an active investigation. He says he's confident the right people will one day be held accountable.
It's been said in the past that, no body, no crime. I would just tell you that I don't believe that holds water. And the only reason I say that is because with the volumes of circumstantial evidence that you can obtain.
We need that one piece, that one little piece to tell us where Michael is.
Do you have hope that they'll bring Michael home?
Yes. One way or another.
There are people out there that know what happened to Michael or have information about his disappearance. The chief urges them to call or text this number with any tips, 208-343-COPS. You can also send an email to findmichael@fruitland.org. Jude.
Yeah, Abby, this tragedy has gripped the whole town of Fruitland. Whenever you drive through, you see all those signs and people looking for answers and closure.
Yeah, just devastating.
Yeah, thank you, Abby.
All right. Well, that was interesting. You know,
Linear
okay,
binaural mod
I
devices
know this
uses
is a little
dual
nerdy, but Taylor's gonna, oh, Taylor Swift is rich as fuck, and she's gonna strike me. But I was gonna play it, but now I'm like, nah, because she has a song called "No Body, No Crime," and I was like, who? Okay, first of all, who is saying or has said in the past, "No body, no crime"? Like, are you hinting to us, sir, that there are suspects out there who have said that and you know about it and you're like, just letting you know, I hear you? I don't know. It just hit me weird that he said it doesn't hold any water. Of course that hurts. Like, ouch. Because you were the one, JD Huff, that said if I could dam the Snake River, I would, in the first year disappearance mark. You said it. So ouch, ouch for everyone. Okay. Because we all know it's a possibility he's in the Snake River. We know that it's a possibility. We're not idiots out here. As hard as that is to say and hear, right? But then for him to say that, it I'm gonna write a sticky note and put it on there about no body, no crime. Because of all of the circumstantial evidence you could obtain. Or are you threatening a weak case against people? That's not good either. It makes me worried, right? And I hope I'm not I don't sound like a weird robot, because I can tell sometimes. So if I do sound kind of weird, just let me know. So yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. You know? Volume up. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. I knew something was wrong. I just knew it. Because I can't hear myself. But one sec. Let me mess with this thing. That's weird. It's all the way up, guys. Sorry. What about now? Does that sound any better at all? Is that any better at all? Maybe I went deaf. No, I think it's my mic. I really do. I think there's something going on. Hold on. And it's going to bother me. What about now? Is that better? I switched something and it seems to be working. Maybe. But I'll just continue on. Sorry, guys. You might just have to turn me up a little bit. Okay. So I want to play next because this was right around the time that the footage was released by Brandi because she was tired of waiting for justice for Michael. So she released the footage of Stacey Wandra post false tip, post false confession, whatever you want to call it. Because they were working together before this, meaning Chris Madonna from the Cold Case Foundation, Juanita and Crimin, you know, so they were working together, if you want to call it that. And basically what in my opinion, Fruitland was really doing, and Chris, was trying to pin one suspect against the other to see if they would squeal. And it really went downhill from there, especially when you deal with people with disabilities and mental deficiencies, when you shouldn't do that. Right? So that's what happened there, in my opinion. So we're going to listen to what Brandi Neal said on her YouTube channel about charges being brought. Because she saw the papers, the charging papers in black and white. And it's coming. And we are still waiting. I don't know if anybody else has any updates, but I don't on that. And that's been since January. So we're what? July now? So let me pull it up real quick. It's hard to hear. So sorry about that.
Hey, everybody. I'm here today. It is Friday, January 24th, 2025. Michael Joseph Vaughan was abducted on July 27th of 2021. It has been 1,277 days since Michael has not been home. Fruitland Police Department, the FBI, many other agencies have diligently, tirelessly worked effortlessly to help find Michael and bring him home and get justice for Michael. There have been 4 named suspects in Michael's case. Stacy Wandra, Sarah Wandra, Brandon Shirtlett, and Adrian Lucian. I went and spoke with the prosecuting attorney, Mike Duke's office this afternoon. I saw the complaint filed.
Okay, so she went to speak to Mike Duke on this Friday, okay, in March, right? Is that what she said, March? Let me make sure I got that date right.
Documents.
I don't want to mess that up. I think it was March. No, I'm so sorry. January, that's what I meant. January 24th, 2025. This is a very important day. An extremely important day, not because of this video, but because of what was going on behind the scenes on this day and right before and after. You see, the $6,000 from the reward fund went to someone pertaining to the Lexus. And it was towed in February when they, I guess, allegedly found it. Not really sure the details on that. However, they definitely wanted that Lexus for testing. And the name associated with it, I didn't realize it at the time. And I could be wrong now, so don't take this in any way, shape, or form that it's 100% fact or truth, okay, guys? This name that's associated with the $6,000 from the reward fund for information and I'm assuming testing for the Lexus for whatever they're looking for in regards to Michael. The name was someone who is deceased and has been deceased since 2023. It's a female. But I have a feeling that the relationship or the family members associated with said deceased female is what they're really after. Okay? In the car business, if you will. Okay? Now, there's a lot of small town car dealerships, you know, mom pop dealerships, standalone in Fruitland alone, but there are also ones outside of there, like Payette, Nampa, Meridian, full of them. Nampa is full of small car lots, just ridiculous amount. They pop up and they disappear just like that. And where this Lexus was actually from I believe that there was money still owed on it from Stacy and Sarah. And instead of doing the right thing and returning the car when they owed a bunch at one time, they let someone else use it for money, right? To get paid. But they never got caught up enough, and then they wanted the car back. And there was a lot of retaliation. After Michael went missing at this point, there was a lot of retaliation from Steve's hometown. You know what? I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that. Disregard. A dealership, because Stacy, who is in the car business, if you will, repairing cars and whatnot at his actual house, there was a dispute. And the people that worked at this car dealership had some beef to the point where it was like, I'm coming for you. Watch your back, Jack. You stole from me. You used my bay and changed oil, made a mess, didn't even pay me back. Fuck you, right? And it was actually in the TikToks, the comment section of either Sarah or Stacy, where it's like, I'm coming for you. And calling them thieves and liars and stuff like that, which, granted, it's probably true, everything that the man said. But it was very suspicious timing because this was in October of 2021 when he was threatening this guy that owns the dealership, was threatening Stacey and Sarah. So, ironically, the name, right, that I know about, and I will not put it out publicly because it's not safe, that family is part of that dealership. So it's not a secret, I don't think. I think a lot of people in the local community kind of figured out it wasn't safe. In regards to Michael's case, I think the community's pretty on board and understands that maybe they don't know the ins and outs, but they're listening and they know that something's wrong here because they should have arrested these 4 suspects. No ifs, ands, or buts. If they really, truly had the evidence, right? All of this circumstantial evidence floating around that should be enough per JD Huff. Why no arrest yet? Are we safe? Are we safe? Says the community. And it's getting to the point now where locals are like, you know what? I'm going to say what's on my mind. And it's not nice. It's not nice. And it ain't about the 4 suspects. So people are really getting tired of it. And I was afraid of that. And it is what it is. So let me continue with this video because it is important, very important, what you hear and what is going on, like I just said, with the 6K. And then we're going to read an article and connect some fucking dots.
For the charges for those 4 suspects that will be brought to them. As hard as they were all to see them in words put tears on those papers. Justice is coming. As those papers are drawn, Fruitland Police Department are continuously and still working on leads and suspects that are speaking to law enforcement, as well as other persons of interest in Michael.
Other persons of interest. Other persons of interest that I have been screaming this whole time. My first theory was, nah, these jokers didn't do it. They're looking for somebody around these people. They don't put people like this on billboards unless it's concrete. They're looking for somebody else. All of these people are probably in on it, helping cops. Something like that. So in 2024, Mike Duke said, "We plan to charge it," in relation to Michael Vaughan's case, meaning it being multiples. Come on. It means multiple, and it means complex, and it means we're not sure which way is up and down with this information, but we know we're going to charge it. All of these things going on. And you're thinking to yourself, my God, what is it? What is so complex about charging harm to a boy? Well, depends on how that happened and what led to it and what led to not finding him. So that would be complex to me. And depending on who's protecting who and for what reasons, it's going to be really complex. Especially what goes around in the Treasure Valley community these days. It has been. So I get it now. So there are multiple people who are not being honest in the community that are holding back secrets. Now, we're going to read this article here in a minute, but I wanted to really dig it into your skulls about that section of this video. It's huge. Brandi had a hard time spilling it out, as I understand that. But I think there's a reason for it, speculatively only, but remember that.
This case. They're doing a tremendous job, all of them, and they're working together. And we stand with them. It was amazing to see, and as heartbreaking it is to see. Nobody's giving up. And those charges, they are coming. I saw them in black and white. Thank you, everybody that continues to support the law enforcement and our justice system, our Piatt County justice system. They're going to get justice for Michael. So, Sarah, Stacy, Brandon, Adrian, charges are coming. We know
24th.
what you did. Tell us where Michael is. Because no matter what, justice will come. And we will find Michael. Monkey's Army will never give up. Thank you, everyone, again for your support. Continue and pray for answers. And please continue to support our law enforcement and the prosecuting attorney who will be trying these suspects.
Well, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you feel in your intuitive guts that there is something wrong with this. Put a 2 in the chat if you're either unsure or you don't feel like there's anything weird about this. I just really want to know. I'm going to put one for myself, hypothetically, in the chat, because I can't put it in there right now. There's something off about this. The timing is key in everything in this case. I want to tell you reiterate from the last video I did, which you really need to watch and listen to, and the one before that, in regards to the $6,000 purchase that will more than likely wrap this whole potato together and bake it. All right. So, as I said, the names associated with said person with the Lexus who is deceased and has been for 2 years. If I have the name right and connected the dots right, which I'm pretty sure I did. Positive I did. The names of 2 people at the very, very beginning who had 2 kidnapping charges, the only kidnapping charges in Payette County in 2021, around the time Michael went missing, or right after. They were dropped. Their charges were dropped the day before the press release of Brandi Neal on November 18th, 2021. These charges were dropped on the 17th. So that tells me nobody was speaking out on Michael's case very, very much after the first public, press release. When Tyler says anything helps. And that was it. From there on, nada, nothing, zilch, zip. And I think it was because they were terrified. And they were told not to, I think, because the people that were investigated are not friendly at all. At all. I get it now. Now I understand why you felt so disrespected, Brandi, when you couldn't speak out. You were terrified. You were trying to protect your family. Now I understand. But I think you knew more than that. I think you knew more. Thank you, Mountain Hippie, you sweet thing. I appreciate you. You're the best. And thank you for being a friend. Pushing a narrative. Yes, Rachel. And Rachel, bless your heart, right? Even though you kind of rolled up on the scene and put yourself in a situation that day, much love to you. And thanks for having the balls to stand up to that, because it's very ironic that I couldn't get the report on that incident that day, not because of you, but to protect the integrity of the investigation of Michael. So I don't know what that means, but I just know that I can't get anything on it. Very interesting. Anywho, that's for another day, guys. So the 2 people that had charges brought on them for kidnapping, trespassing on cultivated land, a misdemeanor trespass, which means that you went onto a property. They said, "Hey, get out of here, you son of a bitch," and you did. You didn't fight with them. You didn't throw hands. You were like, "Cool, I will. Sorry about that. Don't shoot me. I'm walking out." So they had all of these random ass charges, and then the big potatoes, which was trespassing and second-degree kidnapping, and then they dismissed them without prejudice. And they have how long? Let's see, August of 2021, 5 years. Well, it depends on if they're going to add murder to it, potentially, allegedly, or manslaughter or something like that. But for a felony, let's say, that's not heinous, where it doesn't have a time limit or a time frame. Let's just say it's 5 years. That's the mandate in Idaho for most felonies to prosecute on once you bring that first charge. So what's 5 years after August 2021? Huh? It's coming up, isn't it? Wouldn't that be August 2026? Yeah, it would. They're running out of time. They are fucking running out of time. If they were right and they didn't have enough evidence at the beginning, and they're, I don't know, hoping that something comes out of the 4 suspects to get to them, or vice versa, I don't know. But they got to haul ass. They only have a year left. So what do you need? What do you need? What do you need from the 4? Do they know what they're supposed to give you? And that's the problem. Like, we could go through this all day. But looking at this report that you are not going to see, guys, so sorry about that. I just can't do it. Looking at the agency assists for Payette and Fruitland, I think I have an idea. Because some of the addresses have been a nuisance and botherance this whole entire time that me and others have been looking at, and we know who's associated with that. They're getting there, guys. I wish that I could just, be like one of these creators who doesn't give a shit about the outcome of the case, and I care about clicks, likes, and views more. But I'm not going to expose that. But I will tell you, they're getting close. There's no doubt about it. And I really don't think it has as much to do with the 4 as people have put out there and what they think. I'm not saying they are completely absolved of anything. I wasn't there, I don't know. But what I can tell you is that they're getting very fucking close to solving this, in my opinion, or at least getting some answers. Okay.
In the abduction of our son, Michael Joseph Vaughan. Monkey. Monkey? Baby? I promised. We keep fighting. Every day. Pinky promise, my love. Be kind, everyone. I'll be in touch.
Be in touch. That was, January of 2024. So I will show you now, what I can or feel comfortable showing you about that. Just give me a second to pull it up. It won't take me long at all. Oh, here. When I told you about the threats to Stacy, I'm going to let you guys see that one because I didn't want you to think I was lying about that. I'm not. I think some people already know it, but hold on. We're going to snip it. Why are you being difficult? Sorry, one second. My computer is like AOL slow right now. Yeah, it's not gonna work. Here. It's on their TikToks. You can look for yourself. I've gone through it many a time on my YouTube. It's not gonna pull it for me. But I have the February 10th, 2025 tow of the Lexus to the Payette County, wherever they house towing. Okay. Shit is happening. All right. They have probably tested for DNA and shit's probably gonna come back anytime now. And I think that's either what they're trying to do is test to see if what Stacy's big fat lie about Brandon putting Michael back there or Sarah. And if there's no DNA evidence, that would, clear that. But if there is, then it doesn't. And I think that might be what's going on. Right? And I've probably said too much on that, but it's like at this point, 4 years later, millions of dollars later, people are getting their asses kicked, killed. Not necessarily about Michael's case, but maybe the stuff that's surrounding it, right? And other players involved. I mean, this is gang bang bang shit. I said what I said. That's what it is. That's what's involved. And it's scary and it puts other people in danger, and including, people immediately around Michael. And I think it's fucked up that it's going the way that it is. No wonder for people who are like not even really around the community are getting blamed for it. Let's make these other bang bangers feel comfortable or others, right? Put it on those assholes who we could give a shit about so that we can go after the real perps, because we don't want people like Eve or anyone else calling the bullshit out. It's better of a chance to, divert attention. We all know cops do it all the time, especially the annoying YouTubers who cannot stop putting out shit 100% of the time. Like, I go live maybe once a month now. It's not necessary. You don't have to do that. It's not necessary. Sleuth all of that time that you would go live and speculate and get yourself in trouble, and actually figure out what the fuck's going on, because you can do it. You can do it. As a creator, you can do it. And I'm going to tell you something. Whatever is to come with Michael's case, and it's not going to be what anybody thinks it is. I'm telling you that right now. Take that for what you want. It's either going to be, wow, this police force is totally fuckered, or they actually got it right. It's one or the other. Like, they actually tricked the whole community and everyone around them and diverted their ass to get to the right people. What did JD Huff say? One day the right people will be held accountable. And I trust that so much, and I really hope and feel that's what's going on. I do. But I'm also not stupid. And it's a possibility that police are just really good at fucking lying. And they're trying to divert away from 4 assholes that they think deserve to be blamed for it, right? That's just me. So let's read the article, and I'm going to have to get off of here. There's an article about the prosecutor stating that a suspect is in talks with about Michael's case. So I did my due diligence and found out that every single one do not talk to police. No policia. From my understanding, now I could be lied to. It's not 100% fact, but from my understanding, the only one that talked to a prosecutor during that time was Brandi. So I could be off base. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Maybe I was lied to. I don't know why I would be lied to. That's the truth. That's the truth that I was told. So take that for what you want. This poor boy needs justice yesterday. And it does eat people alive. It eats the community alive. It eats people in Texas and Virginia, in Ohio, in California alive too. Especially when you have a little 5-year-old boy, or did at the time of his disappearance, and you're going, oh my God, how could we prevent this going forward? It eats people's hearts alive. The families and others. And it needs to be solved, period. Period. So I think that they're getting close, and I think that we all just need to hang tight. That's what I think. Because the Payette County Task Force is busting their ass. I can tell you that. Okay. All right. Sorry for the cryptic messages, guys, but I'm going to have to jump off of here. Much love to you. I am about to roll out some Dior Coons case information that I think no one else has really put their foot into yet. And I'm hoping that you guys will watch it and comment and tell me what you think. I think you're going to like it. All right, guys. You know, as I say, drink your water, hug yourself, fur babies, grandbabies, hug yourself, drink all of the water, and have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.
Thank you for being with me while doing live streams. It means a lot to me. You are appreciated. See you on next live. Take care and spend your energy wisely. See you on next live. Take care and spend your energy wisely.